Hi guys, Mr. Awful here. EA were kind enough to take me out to EA Play this year, and one of the games I got to play, alongside probably many of you guys, was Star Wars Battlefront 2. The gameplay's on screen, I'm going to set the scene now, and then I'm going to showcase a bunch of things that I did in the map itself, because it was just one map that I got to play. So, it's clones versus droids, so you got that prequel kind of vibe coming through, which is very exciting. And the idea is that there's a troop transport which the clones are trying to destroy. It's a droid troop transport that's kind of advancing towards a palace. You shoot it with an ion disruptor, which you can pick up, and it takes some damage, it stalls it. You can see actually in this gameplay that it's on 0 HP at the top, and that's just because they wanted to make sure that it didn't die while you were playing EA Play, because the games might be a bit shorter otherwise, and they wanted to make sure that it was the same length for everyone, so don't worry about that, but that's essentially the idea of what's going on the map. I played as clones, I played a bit as droids as well. I'll be showing you both. Let's do this. I suppose a good place to kick things off would be the loadout screen. You've got Assault, Heavy, Officer, and Specialist as your different classes, as per. But then in the bottom left, you've got your battle points, which you get for getting kills, completing objectives, those sorts of things, and they're going to get you access to the kind of specialist classes or the heroes. So, for example, if you want to be doing some sort of air battles and things like that, you can jump into a starfighter or a V-Wing if you're on the clone forces, or there are obviously droid equivalents. You've then got an AT-RT, which I found was a little bit janky, but it was pretty cool. The clone jump trooper was fantastic to use. You can bounce all over the place. And I know that can get a little bit annoying, but I felt like it was okay. And then obviously you've got your actual heroes, Mr. Solo and Rey. You've also got different rarities of cards, I believe, in the top right. So the stuff that I've got on right now is just sort of the base stuff that we had at the event, but there were a couple of other cards that we had access to which we could trade out, and the same deal went for changing weapon as well. So obviously you pick your class, you jump into the game. If the queue fills out, it just plonks you in straight away, and if not, you just wait for the 10 seconds. It's no big deal, don't worry. But I'm going to be playing as the Heavy here to kick things off, and then after, I think I'll show you a little bit of the Jump Trooper, maybe a little bit of the droids as well, just so you can see the other side of the map, and also a little bit of the kind of air combat as well, because I feel like that stuff just looked so nice. And what I'll do as well in this video is, towards the end of it, after I've gone through a couple of talking points, I'm going to basically cut off my camera and just leave it as pure gameplay, because as much as this is visually really, really nice to look at, like we were playing on PC, and goodness gracious, it looks fantastic, there's something about the sound as well that I just want you guys to experience, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, just hearing that kind of like blaster sound, that was a terrible impression, dearie me, please don't roast me too hard in the comments, roast me in the comments, like, that sound alone, let alone everything else, is so nostalgic. Even though I've played other Star Wars games and stuff, and I've been watching the films, etc., it's just, there's something about it, man. And also, roast me for shooting this goddamn trip mine and not being able to destroy it as well, like, I'm terrible, clearly. So, I'll be talking about a couple of things first, and then I'll just let the gameplay run so that you guys can really just soak in all of the cool audio and really get a feel for what the raw gameplay is like, okay? So, the Heavy class was probably the thing that I used the most, aside from the Jump Trooper and all that sort of business, in the games that we played, simply because this combat shield was so damn strong. Like, you didn't ever have to bring it down. There was no timer on it. It was just if it took a certain amount of damage, it would obviously drop. But other than that, you could keep it up indefinitely. And so for a noob like myself, I mean, we've just seen me failing to shoot a trip mine, so you can tell that I needed a bit of assistance here, guys. That shield was very useful. So that's something that I did notice, and I wanted to sort of showcase in this gameplay a little bit. This rocket launcher as well was potentially a bit annoying for the enemy team. In fact, to be honest, a lot of the explosives throughout this game were probably fairly annoying for the enemy team, because I was kind of spamming them just a little bit. I'm sorry, once again, roast me on an open flame in the comments section, go for it, be my guests. But overall, I'd say that the Heavy class was the strongest, probably followed by whichever class you have a personal preference for. So I'd say the Heavy was like up there in a little bit of a league of its own, just a little bit, but then below that, pretty much everything was fair game, I would say, so I wouldn't be too worried about balance or anything like that, and I'm sure they're going to be changing it before launch anyway, so really not a problem. Here, though, I'm using the Clone Jump Trooper, and I'm in third person. Hallelujah, the throwback is real. Feels good, man. It really feels good. I've got to say, I think for the Heavy, it did feel a bit easier to be playing in first person. Obviously, you could switch between the two. For me, Heavy felt easier in first, but the Clone Jump Trooper felt easier in third. I think that might be because of the fact that when you're playing as the Heavy, you're kind of limited to the stuff that you want to be focusing on. You don't want to be sort of bouncing around all over the place because you're kind of slow. If you pull out your kind of machine gun, you're really, really slow. Like there's an LMG you can pull out sort of thing, like a sentry gun almost that you're kind of walking around with, and that makes you really, really slow. But with the Jump Trooper, if you're bouncing around, you want as much kind of field of view and extra vision as you can get, I would say. And so I think that might be why I preferred it in third when I was playing as the Jump Trooper. The Jump Trooper is obviously one of the characters as well that you can unlock with battle points in your game. In fact, I think you just saw Rey running past there as well, who is another one of those special characters. But the Jump Trooper costs 2k, and I'd say that that's a very, very fair number of battle points to require. Like, and by the way, whoever I was fighting here, I can't tell their name on the screen right now. It's too small on my laptop, but they're such a scrub. Like, get owned, kid. Who was that? Was that Droid 28? Get wrecked, mate. If that's a YouTuber's name, then you're trash. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I don't want to be shooting any shots here. I apologize profusely, and I just failed that jump as well, so I guess I'm no better. I'm the trash, evidently. But I think 2k is a fair number of battle points to call in someone like this. I mean, that rocket launcher is really strong, as you just saw me using just then. But regardless, I think that it did kind of fit in nicely with just the fact that you've only got this one weapon that you're going to be bouncing around with and shooting people, and then you pull out the rocket launcher if you needed to sort of take out a group and things like that. And it's a very similar deal when you're using the Super Battle Droid as well, as you'll see in a moment. You basically get access to an ability that lets you indefinitely shoot, so there's no recharge. It's called like Infinite Cooling or something. And then you also get, I believe, like a sort of rocket on your wrist as well, as I'm sure you guys are probably already aware. So this is the Clone Jump Trooper. Another one of the things I wanted to talk about very briefly was just the fact that we only got to play one map. We only got to play this map on Naboo, a little bit of air combat, mostly ground combat. We actually won the game there, which was very nice to see, so that was great. I think I might have been on the scoreboard for this one as well. Let's see. Hey, longest kill streak, 3. Clearly, none of us were doing very well at all. And look at freaking Muzelk with 17k points. That's one thing I do have to say. Throughout these games, Muzelk, and I think that's how you pronounce his name at least, was just going off. Like, seriously, I'm pretty sure he earned 18k points in one life at one point, which means he could call in 3 heroes in a row. You're set for life at that point. Like, he must have had an amazing life or found some kind of way to earn loads and loads of points. But here's the Super Battle Droid. As I've said, there's that infinite cooling ability that means you can just keep on spraying, and there's the rocket launcher on the wrist as well. I wasn't able to play as the heroes when I was playing. We just weren't allowed to. And so other people were playing as the heroes, and I was just using these bad boys, and I freaking love them. There's just something about that kind of tier of 2k where I'd play a couple of games as like a regular droid, or maybe as like your assault, your heavy, whatever, and then I would just jump into this bad boy and start shredding. And it was a good time. So what I think I'm going to do, guys, is let the rest of the gameplay run. There's about 1.5 to 2 minutes left, I believe. Maybe a little bit longer than that. But I've been Mr. Waffles. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video so far. If you have, then leave a like. That would be amazing. And let me know if you want to see more Star Wars Battlefront 2 in the future on my channel. Obviously, I'm mainly a Call of Duty guy, mainly a Zombies guy, in fact. So it's not my normal bread and butter content, but I've got more gameplay of it, and so I could post a bit more if you guys are interested. Let me know. I've been Mr. Waffles. I'll see you next time.
Annihilate the clone defenders.
That's it, pilot on!